put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adanna Combie, and this morning we continue conversations in studio with our guests. We're speaking this morning with Ria Paria, and we're continuing to talk about Autism Awareness Month. We had her earlier in this month having some conversations as to what is happening and bringing some more enlightenment and awareness for Autism Awareness Month. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adanna. How are you?
I am well, thanks. And it's a pleasure to always have you here so that we can bring some measure of education and enlightenment to our listening public this morning, and it's always interesting to learn something new. And as we had in our last conversation, we spoke about the fact that we really, really need to be aware so that we know how to deal with and how to interact with persons who are going through this situation, and not just the persons who are going through it, but the people who care for them as well. Right. I know in our discussion before we came on, you said to me, "Girl, I'm tired," because there's so much going on and so many demands in this capacity. So tell us a little bit. I know you recently had that drive last weekend, I think it was.
It was on the 6th.
Right. So how was it? What was the interaction like? What was in terms of persons coming out to support? What was it like?
Well, unfortunately, I was absent from the drive, but from the pictures and reports of the parents and on our chat, it was well supported. They had an extra route, due to some miscommunication. But the fact that they had the big truck and the music and the interaction at the park, the reports were everything was so wonderful that the time that was spent together and even just traversing. In spite of a little hiccup in the beginning of starting late, but it was a very good event. I really thought I missed it.
I'm sure, because even on that day, I saw on my social media pages, I saw so many people talking about it. I saw it on WhatsApp, I saw it on Facebook, and I saw a lot of people sort of rallying around to give that measure of support. So I'm really happy that things went well after that event. And what else can we look forward to? I know it's the entire month that we're celebrating, and you said you're tired, so I know there are things happening. There are things happening. What are some of the other things we can look forward to in this month and even beyond?
And even beyond, yes. This week we're having a walk. It's called Walk in the East in the countryside. Autism Tobago is collaborating with one of our parents, Miss Kelly Walters. She's a very passionate parent. She has a twin, and her son Liam is on the autistic spectrum, and she was just looking for an avenue to get herself out of that space of, okay, well, I have a diagnosis. It was devastating, but she received some encouragement from something she saw online, and she said, you know what, this is a way for me to just, how do I say, make lemonade from the lemons.
That's right.
And she coordinated this walk in the East, and it's on Thursday. We're walking from Ebenezer Primary School into that area where the Rockposek area there, and Sid Gray Stadium, right? And we're ending there. And it is just going to be an awesome time. I said, I don't want to miss anybody. So I said, Auntie Kelly, tell me who you want to big up today, because she couldn't come down today. The teachers of the Roxborough ECC Center, Auntie Karen and Thora Wright. Last year, it was so amazing. The refreshments, how they coordinated everybody and just came out to this walk and giving out pamphlets, meeting the public. She rallied sponsors for refreshment, fruits, the business people from Speyside, Argyle, Roxborough, Betsy Hope, everybody who's supporting the divisions of health and wellness, education, community development, and of course the parents and the teachers who are collaborating from even the primary schools and Roxborough. They are coming out to support this walk. And we are going up from Autism Tobago. We are taking our maxi. We're going to go up and join the walk and, of course, spread awareness in the East. In the East. That's on Thursday.
Yes, I was about to say, in terms of the walk, how are you marrying in terms of spreading the awareness and having conversations with communities?
Right. Well, we'll be distributing pamphlets, and, of course, we'll have our audio message going over the music truck.
Right.
So people can hear the information, of course, giving out the pamphlets and just milling around with the crowd, and as we're walking along, chatting with persons as we're walking along.
Right, absolutely awesome. I always say knowledge is power, and once you have the knowledge, once the information is there, and something I always rally with entities with is to ensure that you have the public education.
Yes.
Public education is very important because it's, it kind of impacts and guides how we treat with situations. So I want to say kudos to Autism Tobago and also to Auntie Kelly, if I get the name correctly,
Yes.
in terms of having this walk and bringing awareness. How is the response when you do these drive-bys and the walks, and what is the response like for the communities? Are they willing to interact with the information and to get the information?
I can say from our last walk last year, when we were distributing the flyers and the pamphlets, even we went in some of these supermarkets, just pop into the bakery, and sometimes I end up, the walk is leaving me, come talking to somebody, I have a grandson, I want some investor, but the numbers are there, call us, my walk is walking away and leaving, but people are hungry for the information. And we were at the mall, we have our kiosk at the Lowlands Mall that has been there since the Autism Day, which was the 2nd of April, and we visited the mall on Saturday last, just a couple parents sitting there with our children, and people were passing by. I was like, feel free to take a pamphlet. Sometimes I don't think people think you could just go and take up something from a display. And we were distributing it, and people was like, oh, okay, we could take it. I was like, it's there, it's information. Feel free to take it and just edify yourself. But I don't know if people just think, it's a pretty display and we shouldn't disturb it. But it's there for you to take the information, and once you see us there, feel free to come and just chat with us and have a conversation and get information from, personal information.
Right. So is the kiosk going to be there for the entire month?
Yes, we're going to be there until April. It's
the end of April. Okay, awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And what else can we look forward to, Lily? Because you see the information, I know we're celebrating Autism Awareness Month this month,
exactly.
But people outside of this month, people are still going to be living with autism.
Exactly.
So what is happening for the rest of the year, the following months? Is anything happening in terms of awareness or just, anything special?
Well, on Saturday, we have our awareness fair. It's the first time we've hosted something so grand, where we've invited groups from the community, businesses, and so on, other NGOs, to set up booths that will share information on how they support persons with autism as well, and how whatever their activities are can also give their workers or their volunteers an opportunity to interact with the persons with autism. Several sponsors have come on board. Persons have given us cash and kind, rapid response. Different people are giving us their services to host this event. And it's not just about giving out the pamphlets and so on. It's an opportunity, for the community to engage with us. I heard, well, this same weekend is jazz. This weekend, so I was like, don't worry, all people ain't going to jazz. It's too loud. It's too crowd, too much crowd, But they're coming to the fair to be able to have that interaction and that support. Because sometimes you could really feel alone, Adanna. You could really feel like I'm the only person in Tobago with a child with autism. No, you're not. You come out and fellowship, come out and meet other parents and just get that support and have a fun time as well. It's from 1 to 5 this Saturday at the Buku Integrated Facility. I'm excited to see horses. I'm excited to have a good time in a safe space.
That's right.
In a safe space. And also what we've been also doing is inviting ourselves. Not to sound pushy, but we're inviting ourselves, and we can also be invited by offices. We will, as a legal aid, we're trying to get into other offices where we can share information with the staff and how you can deal with parents who are coming in, or with adults who are coming in on the spectrum as well, just to get the information so your service can be one of compassion. Your service can be one from a place of knowledge. So you're able to treat with customers and anybody who's coming into your bank, to your office, wherever it is. So we are available. You can invite us, or we will invite ourselves to share with your staff information, most valuable information. What we look forward to as well, and we were trying to do it in April, but I said it's too packed, to have a webinar, so something to share more information to help parents cope with diagnosis and things like that. And we normally have a family day in September, just coming together. That is a free event where they just come together. We usually have a potluck as well, and we will look forward to our Christmas dinner. And again, along the way, other training supports, I'm looking forward to December. It was so great last year, but looking forward to that time of just the parents just letting their hair down. Some parents bring their children and some don't, but just have an opportunity just to exhale at the end of the year. So we're looking forward to a lot.
You said a lot there, and there are two things that stood out for me in your discourse, and you were talking about parents feeling alone, thinking that I am the only child in this space. I'm the only person in this space with a child who is going through this. When there's a whole community here, I know two people, there probably more, but two people who are close to me who have children who are on the spectrum. And initially when they kind of started to notice, because of course you have to notice some difference in them to be able to take them for some sort of diagnosis. And they were very concerned, they were frustrated a little bit, they felt a little alone, as you rightfully said, and they felt, sad.
Yes.
And I didn't know how to support them, so I tried my best.
Yes.
But now that I know that there's a whole community, and they are part of these communities as well, both in Trinidad and Tobago, I feel so good.
Yes.
Knowing that there are people who can give that measure of support to them. So,
journey,
I want to encourage persons out there, if you notice anything in terms of the development of your child, that you're not alone. You're not alone. There's a community out there who can help you, who can give you that measure of support. Yes. So I'm really happy about that. The other thing you said that was really striking, that I really love, is the fact that you're going to be proactive in terms of inviting yourself to places and spaces, because, I mean, people, they display differently, and so some people in ignorance meaning the lack of knowledge, not being aware, they have no tolerance or patience for persons who have. So spreading that information there and helping them to understand, listen, this person might be affected by this, let's treat them with a measure of kindness and tolerance.
Treat them with the understanding.
That's right.
And there's a project we want to work on called a transient sensory space, where it's going to be like a pop-up in different locations, where we will be able to have a space that is sensory friendly, and persons can come to this particular location where they have a place for the children to just relax and calm down and play with some things, and the parents could just have a moment, because sometimes we live for the moment. Sometimes we might get a whole day off. Right. You might get a half an hour exhale. So these spaces, we're looking for people to come on board to support us in these, setting up these spaces and getting equipment for these spaces, because Autism Tobago doesn't have a home. We don't have a building. We operate out of Happy Haven School, where we use the little classroom there to have our meetings. And ideally what we want to see is a space of our own, a yard, some place for them to play, a room for us to have our meetings, a place for a respite for parents to just come and, again, just let your hair down for moments, and the children could engage in something, and people can pop in and get flyers, information, purchase memorabilia. So we really need a space. Hint, hint.
I was just about to say, corporate Tobago, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity.
Hint, hint. We're looking for a building, we're looking for something, but we need a space to be able to really flex and do what we need to do to support the community of Tobago properly, as Autism Tobago.
Ria, I want to wish you guys the very best, and I really do hope that the people who have the means will step forward and help.
A building.
Yes, a building, a land space where they can run and play, some trees in the yard. And I'm seeing this thing happening. Yes, I can see it. I can see it in support of persons who have a little challenge. I mean, we all have challenges. So please understand that their challenges are greater than ours are in this specific area. And if we can help, let us come forward and help provide the necessary resources that are needed to ensure that we get this building for Autism Tobago, so they can have their own home and they can have the space to do that which they need to do, which includes also the continued awareness and education of autism and the spectrum and how it works and how people who have autism operate. And we're talking about also the persons who support them in terms of their parents. Ria mentioned living just for the moment. Sometimes they just want 15 minutes to just go, let's give them a space. Let's help to get them a space. Ria, I'm campaigning here for you this morning. Let's help to get them a space. Thank you so much, Ria, for coming on this morning. And of course, we'll be speaking to you again as the year continues to progress with your projects and your programs and all the initiatives that you have to encourage persons to come out and support, and also to help those people who are going through this particular issue of autism and the spectrum here in Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Ria Paria. She's a parent of a child who also has autism, and so she's passionate about this cause. cause. So let us join together and help where we can help. Yes. Right? If we have the resources, let's join together. We're going to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning in studio with our guests. And before we go, of course, we have to invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Hey, how are you going? Uncle Errol here. Listen to me. I'm so happy to announce that on the 25th, 26th and 27th of April, Karaoke Gael will be in Tobago. I'm looking forward to it so much. There's a grand prize of $10,000. So you can take part. Registration is easy. You call 371-7355. That number again, 371-7355 and register. It costs $100. Now the prelims are at Big Dog. That's on the 25th and on the 26th. And the grand final is at Village Vibes Bar in Mason Hall. Now the admission for Village Vibes Bar final is $150. However, if you have your Gael t-shirt, which costs $100, you can walk in free of charge. Call the same number to buy your t-shirt, to order a t-shirt. Which is again, but we're so excited about being in Tobago for Karaoke Gael. Karaoke Gael is powered by Big Dog, La Cantina, Village Vibes Bar, Honey Restaurant, Alfred's Auto Supplies, and the good folks at the Tobago Updates.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adanna Combie, and in studio we have a guest, Terrence Babwa, producer, and Dave Brown, actor for the play Chloe's Wish. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Adanna.
Right, it's a pleasure to have you here this morning, and people are wondering what is Chloe's wish. So we want to head straight on into that conversation and giving a little insight as to what is Chloe's wish, what it is about, and when and where we can be able to participate in viewing this production.
Okay, so Chloe's Wish is a movie that was written and produced in rural Trinidad, and it was the post-COVID era during that period of time. Now, after COVID, there were a lot of problems, social, economic problems that not only persons in Trinidad experienced, but people around the world. And it's very common. We have a lot of unique characteristics similar to those in Tobago, Jamaica, Barbados. So it's at the Caribbean level. So we thought it would be the best time immediately after the pandemic to, while we're now coming out of it, to immortalize that in a film, because it would have been the right time to get persons' reactions and true reactions, rather than look at it 10 years or 15 years back. So it's really a film about a family who had to go undue suffering because of the COVID. Because of the COVID, the grandmother who lived with this family, she died, and they survived on her pension. The father, who was construction, he lost his job by email, and he had to go migrate down to America to see if he could get things better, but there wasn't anything better there. So this family was left vulnerable, and to the predators we have out there. And there's a story about being able to bring hope to the hopeless. It's a story about re-inculcating the values and the morals that we grew up with many years ago. I always say, not because we're in the new age that all the values and morals must be erased. We still need to hold on to some of these traditional values to go forward. So Chloe's Wish, we have it as a film, produced locally, and we'll be showing it at Scarborough Library this evening at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The price, to ensure we have a full a capacity audience, the price has been dropped to $50 for entry. And there's a 10 o'clock show, 10 to 12 for students, but that's a free show, and it's done through the Division of Education. So persons who didn't get a chance to come and want to come this evening, free to come with, but you had to pay this evening. This morning was
come with your $50.
Come with your $50. Students could come in at 40 if they're bona fide school students.
All right. And this film, I mean, you were talking the synopsis of the film, and it was like a real life, is something that you can relate to, because everybody went through the COVID period. A lot of people were impacted in different ways, and so you can see yourself in parts of the film, and the realities of it. Mr. Brown, Dave Brown, you are an actor in this film, and I'm seeing you that you're already in character here. So tell us a little bit about your character and what we can expect coming from you.
Well, pleasant greetings to you, Adanna, and welcome to Tobago. I have heard so many beautiful things about Tobago, and it's good to be here in person with you all. And as you said, I am an actor in the film Chloe's Wish. I actually play the role of a blind man. Not just a blind man, but a wise old blind man of the village. And because of that, I kind of have the pulse of the people. To begin with, I enjoy doing acting. Why? Because you get to express yourself. Being blind, for me in the role, gave me a different dimension to it, because I was able to, especially with the youths, because there were a lot of youths involved in this production, and I was able to see them without they knowing I could see them.
Right.
So I was sensing where they were going wrong and trying to correct them, because my function, my role, was more or less situated in a car park. And people who pass in there, especially that is near to the doctor's office, I would be sensing and feeling things, especially with the youths. And I think that for me is what was my main role.
So your role in this, as Mr. Babwa said earlier, you're talking about maintaining some of the old ways that we used to have. So having a wise old man and reaching out to the young people kind of ties things back to a kind of sense of community, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. And so when you see the young ones kind of going This is where your wisdom stepped in, right?
That is correct. And that is why I think that the Ministry of Education would have realized the value of it, because there are many values, I must say, in this film that could be used as teaching tools within the schools. So based on that is why I felt that, this movie, I never expected to be here in a studio doing an interview. But because I felt that this movie had what Trinidad needed now, Trinidad and Tobago, I just felt that I'm going to follow it.
Right.
Wherever it goes, when it goes down the Caribbean too, I'm going with it.
Well, I like how this song then. I like how we're not just staying right in our shows. We're going beyond our shows. Definitely. And you said it's a locally produced film, obviously using local talents.
Definitely.
In terms of the writing and the acting and everything, right?
Yeah.
The entire cast and everything are
crew,
all
everything
local. And tell me some of your understanding that you are partnering with some of the NGOs in Tobago. How is that partnership?
So we charged a fee tonight so that we could have benefited. So 2 NGOs could have benefited. One, Healing with Horses. They are at Buku. And I see this is Autism Week, and horses have been found, and animals generally have been found to have a positive impact on the outcomes of people living with autism. And our play too, our movie has childhood depression, which is very common but not commonly diagnosed. And horses and other animals have an effect there. So we thought it would have been good. And our second one is Waves Foundation by Miss Berkeley. They look at the healthcare of the elderly. Many elderly people live by themselves and so on, don't know how to use social media, isolated from people, and they go out to the elderly people and give them things and show them social skills and that sort of thing. So those are 2 NGOs who would benefit from your attendance today.
And I like the inclusion of communities as well. I am part of this production and how it is going to roll out. I like the fact that it's open to school children this morning, free of charge, of course, under the Division of Education. And I like the fact that also this evening is open to the wider audience to actually participate, and not only just to come and see, but also to contribute to NGOs who are known for helping people in communities who are, going through some measure of some type of depression or something like that. So kudos to you guys. Now, Mr. Brown, you alluded to this film going down the islands, going through the Caribbean with this.
I have made a prediction on it.
This is a prediction. Mr. Baba, how do you see this? Do you actually, as the producer here, do you see this film going beyond the borders of Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, really and truly it has. It already started. Right. It was in the cinema just around Christmas time. Probably was the wrong timing, but it was in the cinemas. And we also started streaming it. So we got some responses from Canada and the diaspora of the Caribbean. So, of Caribbean people. So Canada, England, USA. So I see it going places. And I don't want to feel it's just a drama. There's a lot of comedy in it. There are a lot of tears. There are schemas. There are so many things that will make you happy.
The real life thing, is not a stage thing. It's just a life on a stage, really.
That's acting.
I can literally see it based on the synopsis you gave. When somebody's going through something, sometimes you do some weird and outrageous things, right? So you would see the humor in that, I suppose. And
we had a lot of youth involvement. Quite a lot of secondary school students, a couple of primary school students. But we also had the elderly. We had probably about 15% of the actors were probably over 60, 65 years. So we had a nice mix of people, which was really community-based.
Right. So there's so much to look forward to for both this morning and this evening at this film, which is going to be shown at the library. From 10 a.m. to 12, that's what the school children.
That's what the school children. Those were already selected by their school.
Oh, they were already selected.
So coming in, it'll be difficult to just walk in.
Okay. That's for this morning.
Yeah.
But if you are not a school child, if you have not been selected, and you want to attend, because to me, these songs, I already start to laugh, I'm just looking at just thinking about the real life issues and how people treat with them and how people deal with them. Seeing a situation from on the outside and being on the inside is 2 completely different things. So looking from on the outside to see how people deal and treat with situations, real life situations, situations of urgency, situations of anxiety, how people respond to things, how families kind of come together with the grandmother passing on and the father losing his job. What are these families going to do? How are they going to do it? Are they going to scheme? Are they going to come together? Are they going to loot? What are they going to do? We don't know. No, I'm a person who is very much alive and aware of what takes place in our communities and how people kind of operate, So we're looking forward to see how those things are going to happen. So if you're not a selected school student who is going to be there this morning between 10 to 12, I'm campaigning here for you now. The 5 to 7 show is available. It's only $50. It's going to be there at the Scarborough Library. So you can come out and, it's an evening where you can just chill out, relax, and just participate, be a part of a situation that could just be, real. You can look at it and say, wow, this really, I've experienced this before, or wow, I didn't think about it in this kind of way, So we just, encouraging people to come on. Are we seeing here, Mr. Brown with his sign, blind lives matter too. I don't know how he wrote this sign if he's blind, but I mean, this is all part of it, the humor in this film as well. In closing, is there anything else you want to share with our viewing and listening public?
I think we must allude to the fact that despite everything, there's a deep spiritual role and message that comes out of this. And I think that I'll leave you all for who come to see it to really get that spiritual role.
Awesome. Mr. Brown?
I just want to say that I think this is a message especially for the youths. If I didn't feel that the youths were going to be directly affected, I don't think I would have been so deep in it. And I just felt that this was a timely message for Trinidad and Tobago, to the youths especially. I give Doc full credit for including the youths.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. So this is open to all, and particularly with an emphasis on young people benefiting from this. So go on out there at the Scarborough Library this afternoon from 5 to 7, only $50, an afternoon of entertainment, and as real life issues take the stage, and we'll see how those things roll out. We've been speaking with Terrence Barbour, he's a producer of Chloe's Wish, and also Mr. Dave Brown, an actor who is going to be a blind old man with wisdom, sitting in a car park and speaking to young people and bringing some measure of interaction to them and resolving some of their issues, of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to you this afternoon. Please try to make it to that event. This is where we end the morning show today on Tobago Updates Television. But of course, we don't end our programming here. We head on over to Tobago Notes and then on to GMT with Candice Jackson. So stay with us. And while you stay with us, of course, we encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.